Shalom. First and foremost, before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. Double honors go out to our apostles, elders, great millstone, who rule and teach well. Shalom wa barakium to you brothers and sisters out there. Alright, this is the brother Malachi from the Great Millstone Nashville camp. And Lord, when that this lesson is edifying to the hopeful elect. Alright, I'm on my way to work. Figured I'd go ahead and do a lesson now instead of later, because this traffic is absolutely horrible. It's going to take me maybe like an extra 35, 40, 45 minutes just to get to work compared to what it usually would, which is usually about an hour. But figured I might as well go ahead and get to work in, man. You know, when you got downtime, yeah, why not? All right, you know, go ahead and get some videos in, you know, get some reading in, do a lesson, you know, whatever. You know, we got to be doing things for the Lord every day, so might as well, especially times like this, why not take advantage of it, you know? Because some brothers, which I'm not saying myself, you know, but some brothers I know they're very busy, and you know, once they get off work, they might have the rest of their day kind of already, you know, planned out, and you know, might have a lot of stuff. So hey, do it in transit. You know, you get stuck in traffic, you just sitting there, go ahead and do a lesson. You know, watch some lessons. I like to watch videos on my way to work because, like I said, it's about an hour drive, so it gets me a good amount of videos in, or a good amount of information rather. Because sometimes it's just one long video, but you know, you just gotta make good use of your time. And I'm not saying that like I'm the master of it. No, I nowhere near. I got to do a lot better with that. But you know, just putting that exhortation out there that, you know, hey, just use your time. You know, instead of, you know, not saying you can't watch YouTube shorts and all that, but hey, put the shorts down for 10, 15, 20 minutes and get you a video in. You know, get you a lesson and get some reading. You know, whatever. Right, but I wanted to touch on this topic because, you know, even though we don't know how close it is, you know, whether it's this year, you know, whether it's sometime next year, or, you know, we don't know, right? But we do know it is coming. There is prophecy that is coming. I'm talking about the word up on the screen, persecution. Because that's a part of the end time prophecies, right? How we went into certain things that's going to take place at the end days. You know, the love of many waxing cold, right? Martial law, the mandation of the micro implant, you know, the C-hip, right? Which is the mark spoken about in Revelations the 13th and 14th chapter. It's also the hour of temptation in Revelations 3 and 10. You know, we've also talked about earthquakes and pestilences and, you know, all these different things. But another prophecy, another thing that's going to take place is persecution. But the thing is, with this whole persecution, like it says in the book of Isaiah, you know, the enemy will come in like a flood. You know, a flood is very destructive. You know, it's got something called a flash flood. You know, right? Water will move so fast and be so heavy, so hard that it, you know, the current will just sweep you off your feet and put you right under, you know, and basically devour you. So the scriptures tell us that the enemy is going to come in like a flood, which we can connect that in with Revelations 12 and 12 as well. His troops, you know, they're going to essentially get boots on the ground, and they're going to try to, you know, beat everybody into submission. You know, this New World Order agenda, the NWO, pushed, you know, of course, by the elite banker families. And part of that was going to come with that, because it ain't just going to be regular peons, you know, Edomites, Moabites, Hamites, you know, 2/3 Jake. No. There's going to be men of the Lord and women, you know, who believe, and children who believe, you know, that are going to get caught up in this persecution. You know, because don't think that whole Nigeria thing, and that ain't persecution of Christians, man. All right, because the real Christians are the Israelites. Christianity is a fallacy, and the fact that people still follow that in 2025 shows just how gone the masses are. You know, like it says in the book of Isaiah, that gross darkness covers the people. We can see that. Whether it be Islam, whether it be Christianity, any of its denominations, You know, whether it be Egyptology, atheism. Some people still believe that they come from a monkey. You know, and if you believe that, then you probably do. I'm just joking. Because then I was gonna say, because you a damn idiot like one, but monkeys ain't even stupid, man. You know, now obviously they're not on the level of people. I mean, duh, right? That would be terrifying if they were on the. But they are very intelligent creatures. They are. They're not stupid, all right? But people did not come from monkeys just because they got thumbs, bro. We didn't evolve from monkeys. And the last person that you need to be listening to is Stephen Hawking. He can't even get up. You don't need to be listening to Charles Darwin, Charles Dawson. None of these Edomites, man. Because that's all. Of course, you know, if I was a fucking Edomite, you're damn right I wouldn't want to believe in the Most High, because the Most High hates Esau. He hates Edomites. Okay? It even tells in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary that Edom is the nation that God didn't promise mercy to. The only nation. The only neighbor of the Israelites that God did not promise mercy to. So, yeah, I mean, it makes sense that Esau wouldn't, you know, want to acknowledge the Most High's existence. And then not only that, like it tells us in Second Thessalonians, right? He opposed and exalted himself above all that is called God, and he tries to make himself God. You know what I'm saying? So it's no surprise when he tries to come out with this theory, talking about some damn monkeys and evolution and all that fucking bullshit. Which that, like it says in Psalms 14:1, the fool has said in his heart that there is no God. They're abominable, right? Because that's another reason why they try to deny the existence of God, because they don't want to be held accountable for their actions. A higher power is going to hold them accountable for the things that they did, things that they are doing, the things that they will do. You know, this man is fucking demonic out here. All right, but yeah, anyways, let me not get too sidetracked. I'm starting to go on a whole different topic. So let me read this definition up here for persecution. It says, hostility and ill treatment, especially on the basis of ethnicity, religion, or sexual orientation or political beliefs. So for us, this is going to be religion. All right? Because, you know, first of all, the Israelites, you know, they were scattered. So we'll come looking like everybody. You know, the primary groups, of course, is Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. But we'll come looking like all the nations, you know, where we were scattered. You know, such as myself. You know, I very well could go back to the Jake of the Dark Ages, you know, and they got a whole book about that, you know, about Europe, Jake in Europe, mingling with Esau, so-called white people, you know, called Nature Knows No Color Line. That type of thing has been happening for a very long time. It's nothing new. And shit, we see it all the time. Look at all the people on the earth right now walking around, especially here in America, which is known as the melting pot, especially up in New York, you know, in that area. All these people that be mixed and mingled amongst each other. It's no shock, it's no surprise, man. You know what I'm saying? But for us, it's going to be religion. Which, you know, we use that word only every blue moon, because we don't like to refer to what we have as a religion in that sense, because when you say religion, it makes it seem like it's something that anybody can be a part of, and that's not the case. Now, it is technically a religion, because it even mentions that in the scriptures, you know, but this is the religion of the Israelites. Okay, so if you're not an Israelite, if your lineage does not go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you have no part in this. Okay, because that's what the term ITE means. It means descendant of. If you're not a descendant of Israel, who is Israel? Jacob, right? His name was changed to Israel after he had wrestled that angel. Then this is not involving you. Ezra 4:1. Okay, what do you have to do with us to serve our God, to worship our God? You know, he's the God of our fathers, not yours. You weren't the chosen line. Okay, but that's what we're going to be persecuted for, is following the religion of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know, like it says in, what is that, 2nd Maccabees, I want to say. I don't know what chapter. It might be in 1st also. So it talks about how it's not lawful for a man to call himself a Jew. You know, so, you know, it's not lawful to keep the customs. Which, you know, we can, as of right now, we can practice, you know, our laws. You know, we can go out on the streets and teach the word. You know, the famine of the word has not hit yet. Okay, but ultimately, even though we have so-called freedom to express these things, we still are low-key crypto Jews, man. You know, the Morenos that, you know, like up in Spain, the Iberian Peninsula, that pretended to be Christians outwardly when they walked out the house, you know, but when they were behind closed doors, they were keeping the customs, you know, of the Israelites. That's basically what we do, because we got to be Clark Kent, right? We don't, at least at Great Millstone, you know, these other camps, they flaunt, they tell any and everybody about the truth, and they wear fringes, and they just go above and beyond, and they're just putting a target on their back. You're not moving wise. All right, scriptures constantly talk about moving wise, using your brain, like the apostle and others say, using your head for something more than a hat rack. You know, so at Great Millstone and the affiliates, we don't go around telling people and wearing fringes. No, most people don't know what we do. Unless they come across a video at a camp, they don't know what the hell we got going on. They barely know anything about us. I don't talk to nobody, right? They just look at me and say, oh yeah, it's such and such. That's it. They might know my name, if that. They don't know how. Most people don't even know how old I am. They don't know where I came from. They don't know, you know, they don't know if I got kids. They don't know if I got a car, a house. They don't know shit. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Okay? People don't need to know about you. I mean, what for? I don't need people knowing about me, except the brothers. You know, mainly the brothers that I have to report to. They need to know about me, you know, so they can report that, and so they can keep tabs on me and all that. But other than that, why the fuck would I let Larry at the job know that I got a woman, I got a house, and I got it? No, bro. That I'm an Israelite and I'll go out to camp. No, they don't need to know none of that. All right, they don't need to know none of that. But still, the persecution is going to come. That's what Yahushua was telling us. You know, if the world hated me, it will also hate you. You know, they have persecuted me, they'll persecute you also. It's in the book of John. Yahushua talks about us being persecuted many times, but he said, I think it's in Matthew 10, he that hath forsaken houses or children or brother for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold in the kingdom of heaven. So we're going to have to lose all these things, but we already knew that, and it's all tangible. You know, because like it says in, what is that, 1 Corinthians 4:17, or it might be 2 Corinthians. But it talks about how all these things are temporal, you know, but the things that we can't see are eternal. We're looking for the continuing city. We're not looking to be established here. Okay, we don't have a 20-year plan. All right, we don't have a 401k. Okay, I don't even believe we're going to be here another 5 years. Yahweh forbid. But even if we are here 5 more years, it's still only 5 fucking years. I don't need a 401k. I'm not going to get a career and try to become the regional manager and have 8 kids. I'm not doing none of that shit. 5 fucking years. It's not that long. That's gonna be gone just like that. You know, of course, try to get your credit better. You know, try to save some money. You know, build a little bit. You know, be sustainable, and you know, don't neglect things. Right? We still got to deal with this shit. You know, when problems arise, you know, car problems, you know, house issues, things. You know, money is the defense. Okay, these different things, but don't get carried away. Don't get caught up in it. Like it says in Timothy, don't get entangled with the affairs of this world. There's no point. There's no point getting tangled up with the affairs of this world, because this world passes away. You know, we're storing up treasures in heaven where moth and rust doth not corrupt. That's what we're doing. That's what we're about. You know, and we're going to continue to be like that, because that's all that matters to us is this ministry. We were inducted into this ministry, and this is what we have to vow our lives to. And a lot of people don't understand the seriousness of that. They think that it's a game. They think it's a joke, and it's not a joke, man. And where you other camps are really going to realize how much of a joke that it's not, how serious it actually is, when that persecution comes. Because no matter what camp you're with, no matter what names you call upon, they're going to come down and clamp your ass, man. So you better make sure that you're getting right with Yahweh Shemel Bashai. You better be on fire. You got to do you got to do the work. Continue to push that plow. Now is not the time to get weak. Now is not the time to be pessimistic. Now is not the time to be slothful, right? Consider the ant, thou sluggard. Nobody's saying do 18 videos a week, but be on fire for your spirit. Do what your portion is. That is all we can do, and that's all we need to do. Pray, fast. Nobody's saying fast all the time. Nobody's saying pray for 3 hours straight, which that's really off. All right, because Yahweh said don't be like the heathen. You know, give your prayer, because you're not the Lord's friend. All right, we're not having conversations with the Lord. Ask the Lord to increase you in the spirit, to do this and that, and close it up and go about your day. You know, ask the Lord for protection. Ask the Lord for, you know, for more faith. You know, all these things. You know, one thing I say, I have a prayer that I put together with different qualities. You know, basically, and I'll say it. You know, Nathan Laya, I'm a one kai tazawam, wa tazamakai tazawam, wa yara'aka, wa ainawaka, wa haracha layakal bahamath, wa haracha shal Yahawashai. Basically, ask for mighty faith and mighty growth. Ask for more fear, because adding the ka means your fear. Like, give me your fear, you know. Faith, fear, you know, you want to ask for patience, you want to ask for wisdom, discipline, you know, the spirit to endure, the spirit of Yahushai, you know, basically. Because Yahushai embodies all of those things. You know, but there's a lot of, you know, prayers you can make yourself, quick prayers. You know, I think another one, I shad Daraket Tuwa Bayanka, basically allow my path to be good in your sight. You know, there's a lot of things that you can pray for, you know, and I'm not talking about carnal, physical things. I'm talking about spiritual qualities that actually matter, because Isaiah 33:6, wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of thy times. The wisdom that's going to keep you stable isn't just knowing breakdowns. Knowing breakdowns is amazing. That's part of the ministry. That's part of being apt to teach, and especially ones about prophecy. You know, it's very vital, absolutely. But them qualities, them characteristics, them fundamentals is what we really need to be focusing on here. Okay, so that's just something I want to put up. Lord, when this traffic starts to clear up, because I'm definitely a lot later than I should have been. I really should have been at work already, but no, that's how it goes here in Babylon, man. It's nothing but confusion, chaos. You know, numbskulls. It's just that's Babylon. You know, but Babylon is on its way out. You know, and shit, expect traffic to get worse, because more people are going to start becoming more depressed. You know, you're probably going to see a lot more DUIs, more car accidents, people lashing out, more road rage, because people are unhinged. And as we continue to dive further and further into the depths of hell, if you will, hell being a condition, you know, a bad state, uncomfortability, people are going to become more stressed out of their minds. So just expect these things. You know, but Lord, when that this lesson was edifying, before I close, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bashim Al-Shai, Bashim Rakha Kudash, the honors the apostles, Elder Great Millstone. Shalom.